Welcome back to MAURO'S Films. Today I am talking about the interview setup that I am using for my work. This interview setup was used to cover these two events that will pop up right here in the right corner. And yeah, I must thank you all guys for subscribing to my channel because you are supporting me to do more stuff. We are hitting 100 subscribers, so thank you for that. You must know that I am working hard days and night shifts to pay off my filmmaking gear and to start my filmmaking career and make this my only job. This weekend I'm making a promo shooting for a dance studio, so there will be more tutorials and stuff like that after that shooting. I didn't forget the question by DocGenius1 in the comments to make a color gradient tutorial for dark tone people, but you know what? So if someone can provide me a footage filmed in scene like D with dark tone people, I will be glad to color grade it. Okay, enough talking for me, let's see what's the budget gear for the budget interview. Okay, so here's the Panasonic G7, two more batteries for the G7, the 25mm 1.7, the Zoom H1, a 16GB SanDisk card for the Zoom H1, the Takstar ACG598, a fresh battery for the Takstar, a 64GB SD card, the JK lavalier, and a Manfrotto monopod MVA500A. The settings for the Panasonic G7, but it's the same for the G85. They are configured like this: natural profile, contrast -2, sharpness -5, noise reductions +1, saturation -2. These settings works for me just fine and allows me to slide color grade in post. For interviews, I do not use Cine like D profile because a heavy grading is not necessary for the type of work in my case. Recording quality 100 megabit 24 frames per second to get the max sharpness out of it. You do not need slow motion on interviews, so 60p is not needed. Exposure manual, because you want to be able to control the exposure on your own. AFF to maintain focus if it's a slight movement of the person involved. Continuous autofocus on. I find it good enough. Better to have a focus hunting for 1 second than 1 minute of interview autofocus. The metering mode is spot, because in other modes the focus just start to hunt in a weird way. Eye dynamic, eye resolution and diffraction compensation off. You don't want digital improvements in cam. The luminance 0 to 255. X-tele off, digital zoom off. Silent operation on. You don't want to disturb the subject with sounds. The mic level is on to see the sound. Mic level -6 dB. I found that the best setting for sound noise ratio. Mic limiter on. It makes a good job in cam limiting the mic level. Wind noise standard. Remember, these settings are used because I need to synchronize the audio in post, so the audio will be from the Zoom H1. The 25mm 1.7 from Panasonic. The settings. I try to stop it down a little bit to f2.0 to f2.2. Maintaining these settings you will get a separation from the background. Sometimes in the low light I go for f1.7, so settings from f1.7 to 2.2 and the ISO between 200 and 400. The Zoom H1. Low cut off, auto level off, rec format, waveform audio file format. The standard quality for audio for the JK lavalier, the input level is from 60 to 65. Works best for me and you will get a low noise but great audio pickup. And yeah, plugged to the Zoom H1 line in. The Manfrotto monopod with a fluid pan head with tinted legs to have a tripod that stands on itself, even with a G7 and a microphone mounted on. So let's look from a pic how it looks. I position myself about 1.5 meters or 5 feet from the subject. The lavalier is hooked up like this. The zoom is into the pocket of the interview person or just in his hand. Things to remember. Turn on the Takstar with a fresh battery in it. Check that is connected to the G7. Press the recording button on the zoom before you leave the subject. Check the picking of the audio and press record with the G7 with the right settings. So there you go, a budget interview setup that will not break your bank account. Thanks for watching, stay tuned and see you the next one. Bye!